It's good to finally see you at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait to get a load of the crowd that's waiting for y'all.
I know.
In a good way.
Yeah. It's going to be overwhelming.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on with your character, now with everything with Jax. And where do we pick up after that season?
Like the next day. I don't know. I guess it's a few weeks later. I think that at the end of the last season, it's sort of a big blow for both Jax and Tara that they're not going anywhere. And but we pick up with both of them feeling very resolved to be there and to assume the roles that they need to assume to sort of lead the club. So there's a lot of resolve, and there's sort of I guess the season sort of picks up with a sort of subsiding from the big events of the end of last season and trying to figure out how to move forward.
You've been on the show 4 seasons now. You're going into you're shooting the 5th right now. Is there a moment that has stayed with you throughout the season?
Lots of moments. I mean, I think all the moments that are like big turning points for the character. I mean, it's interesting to stay with the character for 5 years. It's like last season when the business with the hand happened was really, I think, the most significant thing that's happened to her on the show, because it's like something in her life just irrevocably changed and made her really have to embrace being there in a different way. There was a scene in the first season with Jake Barnes when he tried to rape him and we ended up killing him. Like, that was a really intense day or two that I'll never quite forget.
So can you talk about how Tara and Gemma's relationship is, because they went from kind of hating each other to kind of embracing, and Gemma becoming that mother figure, and now I imagine that Gemma's trying to get back on the throne, now Tara's usurped her place.
I think, I think Kurt has always had in his mind that it's a mother-daughter relationship, and that doesn't end this season. In some ways, it's even more pronounced. There's like a lot of, like, he likens it to an adolescent living with an adolescent girl, a teenager, that rejecting her, and I hate her one minute and I really need her the next. And so it's really different from episode to episode, and it's fun to play, and where and how they find each other is pretty interesting.
How much input do you have into the character, as far as if you see a script and you think, you know what, she would not do this? I mean, do you have that ability to say, this doesn't feel right to me, or is it kind of collaborative, or is it pretty much set in stone?
If something really jumps out at you, as it tends not to be, I mean, in terms of big plot points and stuff, we don't have that much sway in terms of how we can guide that ship, but certainly scene by scene, if you read a scene, you're like, I wouldn't really do that, or I wouldn't really say that, or the door is really open for Kurt, and he hears everything that you have to say, and I think he relies on us. They're overwhelmed, and they can't always think of, we're deeply inside these characters' heads, and so I think he likes moments like that when you're like, I don't know what to say.
If you could go back at the beginning of when all of this started, what would you tell yourself?
I'm sorry, what?
If you could go back to the beginning of Sons of Anarchy, what would you tell yourself?
What did I tell myself? Hold on. It's gonna be okay. No, I think I would tell myself to trust the people that I'm working for. I think it took a little while for the show to really find itself. And so during the first season, I had a lot of, I had moments of doubt and moments of wondering if, the show is going to find its voice. I think Kurt has a really wild imagination, and he took in a lot of directions at once, and when it steadied itself, it felt really great. So I would just hold on, wait it out.
Can you talk a bit about it when you get new scripts? Are you still surprised at what he's coming up with from season to season?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's certain scripts. I think it's sort of the nature of television right now. I'll sometimes read a script and be like, oh my god, this is amazing. I think that not every script does that, but there are always a few scripts every season that really make me feel like we're part of something, one of the most special things out there. And that really has to do with what they dream up and how, even sometimes how they write a scene, like we know something that's going to happen, and then you read it and you can't believe, the way that they've chosen to tell the story.
Is there a process you go through to kind of get in the mindset to do some of these emotional scenes that Tara has to deal with? Because she's had a lot of rough ones, and do you have to go to a certain place to be able to do that?
Yeah, although as the years pass and you live through stuff with the character, it comes pretty easily. It's like the attachment that I feel to to Charlie and to Katie and to all, it's like it's not just the characters, it's also the people, and it all becomes sort of one. And these events happen. Like the hand is like, it was just devastating. When I read that, I was devastated. I was so excited as an actor, but I was devastated as the person playing that character. And so, after all this time, it's easy. You just sort of have to show up. You'll be nervous, and you'll be like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm going to do, and then you show up, and it just happens.
On the other side of the coin, does it get hard to shake it now that you're so attached to the character?
Not for me. It's so, I don't know, the biker world is like so far from my actual life and personality. It's like, I get to set and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here, all right, I'll go put on my jeans and my boots and my cuff. But then when I leave, I really am able to shake it. Some days, not.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Good luck. Thank you.